everyone, welcome back to Leandra the TBR Zero. I have a tendency of having very long intros, so I'm trying to fix that. But today we have another mystery vlog for you. It's been a while, but this time it is island mystery themed. The two books that I'm actually going to be reading are It Takes Two to Mango by Carrie Doyle. It's the first in the Trouble in Paradise series. It came out in 2021, and I think this is more categorized as cozy modern mystery. The other book that I'm reading for this vlog is Robert Thorogood's A Meditation on Murder. I think this is a bit more mainstream mystery. However, it's interestingly based off of the TV series Death in Paradise, which was also created by Robert Thorogood. So I'm really looking forward to see how it translates from TV to print. The two books that I'm reading are not only similar in the fact that they're island reads, but they also are buddy reads for me this month. For A Meditation on Murder, I'm actually reading it with my mom. She and I are avid watchers of Death in Paradise, so I'm a bit worried that the hype is going to be too high for us personally, but we're gonna see how it goes. And then for It Takes Two to Mango, I actually came together with a bunch of bookstagrammers. We all realized we had this book on our shelves and we were wondering what was taking us so long to read it. So we came together, made a plan for July, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what their thoughts on the book is, especially because I personally am not a big cozy modern mystery reader. I just don't have much experience with that subgenre under the mystery umbrella, but these other readers that I'm joining are 100% experts. So it just will be a fascinating experience to see what I think about the book in comparison to them and what they can teach me about the genre itself. So without further ado, let's just get into these island mystery reads. This is your reminder to like the video, consider subscribing, and ring that bell that's in the corner, because then you'll be notified every time I have another video like this on my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and yeah, have a wonderful day. I am 25% of the way through It Takes Two to Mango by Carrie Doyle, and I'm having the best time. So to give a little bit of information before I go into my own thoughts and observations, our main protagonist and amateur sleuth is Plum Lockhart. She reminds me so much of Agatha Raisin, so if you've read any of MC Beaton's books that feature that detective, amateur, or the TV series that is based off of it, then you know what to expect. Plum is used to the hard and unforgiving publishing industry, and when she ends up finding out that she's laid off because the magazine she works for is folding, she suddenly has to rearrange her life and figure out what her new career path is going to be. And it lands her in a Caribbean island in which she is now a newly appointed broker for these rental villas at this gorgeous resort in Paradise. But of course, Plum, being the very ambitious person that she is, she's not used to the slow, relaxed lifestyle of her coworkers and of island life. So that's a huge change for her, and she does not like it at all. As she's trying to get used to her surroundings and take a few risks to prove that she is obviously the right person for the job, she makes a few mistakes. One of her clients ends up being found dead. I have just so much praise for this book, and I'm only 25% of the way in. I love Plum. I love how rough her edges are. I think the humor in this book is great, and it works because it's third-person perspective. I have always been quite tentative at diving into cozy mysteries, especially because most of them are first-person perspective from the detective's point of view. I am just not a fan of it. I don't like how deceptive, obviously, the mindset of the main character has to be, because as they're solving things, there's always going to be a little bit of pushback because we as readers can't know everything that the detective is thinking. And on top of that, the amateur detective, when it's a first-person perspective, always seems to force the humor. I can't handle when we have a quirky, silly detective and they are trying to be funny way too hard in the narrative and in their narration of what's happening. So that's why I really think that this book is shining because it's really Carrie Doyle who's being so funny in her narration of what these characters are doing and what Plum is doing. It's not Plum trying too hard to be funny as she's reflecting on a mystery she solved. You know what I mean? So I tend to prefer third-person perspectives, which just allow for either an omniscient point of view or a limited third-person point of view, and that's exactly what this book provides us. So there is some great humor and retrospection, especially because Plum contradicts herself all the time, but in the funniest way. And I don't know, I've always been a really big fan of Agatha Raisin, so I think that's why Plum Lockhart is my cup of tea. She also reminds me of D.I. Poole, who is in the Death in Paradise series and A Meditation on Murder, which I obviously am reading for this vlog too. So I think that this is going to be another overlapping similarity in which both these detectives, whether they're amateur or professional, are totally against the island life, and they feel forced to have come here even though everyone else reading this is just jealous of them. So I am really a big fan of that type of irony, and I am fully invested in the murder mystery already because we have some strange suspects that are part of the bachelor party that this victim was a part of. We also have some tension between Plum and the lead detective on the case already. I also am loving the romantic tension between her and the director of security at the resort, Juan Kevin. They are becoming a team in this investigation, but also you can see some sparks flying, and I'm totally here for it. So all in all, this is shaping up to be an amazing mystery, and I'm already thinking that I'll be reading the next books in the series too. So we'll see how the next 75% go, and I'll definitely let you know what my friends in my book buddy group for this book are thinking as well once we all get to the end. I am 25% of the way through A Meditation on Murder, and it has met every single expectation that I've had thus far. I absolutely adore D.I. Richard Poole and his team. They have the best chemistry that I can pretty much say for any other detective team I've seen or read, and I love that the creator of the show is the author of this book because it's super authentic. Their personalities are pretty much copy and pasted. Camille Bourdet and Richard Poole are the best team. I absolutely adore them. They are polar opposites, but they really find a way to complement each other's investigative styles, and they get the job done. They are finding clues. They're looking into certain statements from suspects and witnesses that just don't add up. And there has been this huge breakthrough in the last chapter that now has them looking into the victim's past, because before this, everyone was saying that he was the best person, he was so kind, and of course, that's usually not the case. There's a reason why someone is murdered, and it's not because they're so nice. I just realized that I never told you anything about the actual book. So D.I. Poole and his team are investigating the murder of Aslan Kennedy. He and his wife own this super exclusive spa hotel known as The Retreat, and Aslan is actually murdered during one of his sessions. It's this sunrise meditation session, and they're in this room known as the meditation space. It's this very small structure that is built of wood and paper, and there is one door going in and out, and it only has a doorknob and lock from the inside. So he locks them all in, they're doing the session, and then 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, he is murdered. He is found murdered by all these people, and none of them know what happened. They all wake up from their, meditative rest, and they find a woman screaming. She's holding a knife in her hands, saying, "I murdered him." And then, of course, all chaos ensues. So yeah, this is a brutal, premeditated, yes, premeditated crime, and they know that someone in that room must be the guilty party, even if it wasn't the woman who actually was holding the knife. So yeah, super intense and very different from It Takes Two to Mango, which is a declared accident that must be proven to be murder. I am really looking forward to seeing how this book continues. I am also having so much fun comparing it with It Takes Two to Mango, because while the settings are so similar and the writing styles are similar as well, being in the third person with lots of humor and obviously team dynamics, we have to remember that with It Takes Two to Mango, our sleuth is an amateur. She also is investigating this simply because she believes that something's not right. She knows that it was a murder while everyone else is saying it's an accident. Whereas this one, we very much know that it was a murder because it's a locked room mystery and the person was stabbed to death brutally. So as similar as these settings are, they are clearly going in very different directions mystery-wise, and I'm loving it. It's great. I can't wait to see what I end up thinking about this book in the end, and especially what my mom ends up thinking about it because she's reading it with me. Officially finished A Meditation on Murder, as has my mother, and I am very happy to say that we both were quite satisfied with every aspect of this mystery. I am definitely most relieved that my mom and I both were happy with this version of one of our favorite TV shows. I think going in, you're always a bit nervous when you're experiencing an adaptation, and actually my mom even admitted that she had held off a little bit and postponed picking this buddy read up because she too was feeling the anticipation and wondering if it would stain the beautiful image that we have of Death in Paradise. If you are a fan of Death in Paradise, I can assure you that the characters in this book very much mirror the characters that are in the TV series. I don't think that there's any strange misstep or attitude that doesn't fit the characters to a T. And the intricacy of the mystery 100% is satisfying and worth the read. I think that Thorogood matches Christie in a way because I swear he includes almost every single possible solution, and it makes you wonder which way he's actually going to go. And I love that there's an unpredictability to it, just as Agatha Christie pretty much warns us every time one of her books says, hey, one of these characters 100% could be the killer, and we're gonna be figuring this out together. So I ended up correctly choosing the who in the whodunit, but the how or the why either remained a mystery to me or slowly pieced together just as the reveal was happening. So I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. My mom was the same way. She had no idea who was going to do it, and we were taken for a loop multiple times. So out of the two island mysteries, this is the first I've finished, and I can say I am fully satisfied. I'm so happy. It was totally worth it, and I can't wait for the next 3 books because I own them. My mom has ordered them. They're on the way to her home, and we are going to be continuing this buddy read series together. So yeah, highly recommend. If you've seen the TV show, this mystery is completely different and unique, and it actually occurs sometime after the pilot episode occurs. So if you're trying to figure out what to watch or read first, I actually would recommend watching the pilot episode first, because then you're getting to know the characters. They're all getting to know each other, because here they already know each other so well, and you understand the circumstances that brought D.I. Richard Poole to the island in the first place. So yeah, Robert Thorogood, A Meditation on Murder, 4 stars. I loved it. A couple days ago I finished It Takes Two to Mango with my buddy reading group, and the one thing that you can take away from this vlog, if anything, is that both of these books have amazing Paradise Island atmospheres. So if you're looking to go away without physically going away on vacation. You can't go wrong with either of these, but to focus on It Takes Two to Mango for a moment, I loved Plum and Juan Kevin's chemistry. While they are complete opposites and they clashed a good amount, they also learned to appreciate each other's strengths, learn from each other, and support each other when they were experiencing a certain kind of weakness. I really look forward to seeing what happens with the two of them as the series goes on, and if you love a romantic subplot with your mysteries, then this is definitely the book for you, because the tension was there and I totally was rooting for them the entire time. So with Plum though, what's interesting is that in my buddy reading group, a lot of people felt that she rubbed them the wrong way, especially in the beginning chapters. And while I totally understand that, I loved it. I completely was on board for her being super uppity and a bit snobbish and jumping to conclusions when in reality she is contradicting herself left, right, and center. I also have to admit that I am used to these types of amateur detectives / professional detectives, and they're pretty much my favorites to read. That's why I love that this reminds me of Agatha Raisin. That's why I love that this reminds me of D.I. Richard Poole from Death in Paradise. So I think that I'm very biased when it comes to my appreciation and love for Plum Lockhart, and I wanted to mention that others in my group did find her a bit itchy to get used to her personality, but I do think you should give it a try because it was really fun and she definitely grows on you and she learns to embrace and appreciate the paradise that she's living in. When it comes to the mystery, there were so many clues, and there were dozens of suspects, I swear. Every time we turned around, when we were crossing someone off, we were suddenly adding another person, and then a chapter later, that person we crossed off is in the running again. So you can't even be sure of who the murderer is. And I knew who was meant to be the murderer a couple chapters before the ending, but I think that that was perfect pace, and that's exactly what Carrie Doyle had designed the narrative to be. The one thing that did actually disappoint me a little bit was the ending, and I know some hardcore mystery readers are going to immediately write this book off because I said that, but I have to explain myself. So every other aspect of the mystery is so good, it's so fun, it's so captivating, and why I'm disappointed is that because I personally believe there's a formula in which someone is the murderer, but they have to have had enough page time to be in the running, you know? And it's not that I never suspected this person to be the murderer, I just would have liked more space on the page for them as a character, just to be acknowledged and more involved in the mystery. I didn't like how much in the background they were. It just seemed really shallow and underdeveloped for why they did this. Another thing that wasn't disappointing, it just was interesting, was the fact that every young woman character was either bratty or shallow or demanding or completely aloof and detached from society because of the technology they were using. While I appreciated that this was mainly a critique on a certain class of young women, specifically the upper 1%, I was kind of disappointed that it's just surprising that there were no other redeeming women characters beyond Plum and Lucia, who's her co-worker. So I would like to see in the later books just more well-rounded women characters, and I hope that that will be the case once we start including characters who aren't in the elite 1%. It just was like a weird observation I had. But overall, this is definitely a solid 4-star read, and I will 100% be picking up the second installment in this Trouble in Paradise series, which is Some Things Guava Give. An awesome title. And that concludes my Island Mystery reading vlog. I want to remind you that the 2 books I read are the first installments in series. When it comes to A Meditation on Murder, there are 3 more books after this, and Carrie Doyle's It Takes 2 to Mango is the first in her Trouble in Paradise series. The 2nd book is out, the 3rd one is on its way, and who knows, we probably have more to come. So if these are on your shelves and you're really looking forward to a new mystery series, then I highly recommend both of them. And if they're not on your shelves but you don't want to buy these books, just remember there are so many options that are free to you to use. For instance, your local library. You also can use the Libby app through your library to get free ebooks and audiobooks. Don't forget, most libraries are associated with Hoopla as well, which again gives you access to so many audiobooks, so many ebooks, even movies and TV shows too, so keep that in mind. And finally, if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, there is the option to look into Amazon Prime Reading. It comes with your subscription, so you're not paying any additional fees, but you do have access to a certain number of books that are in ebook or audiobook form under the banner Prime Reading. So don't worry if you don't own them, but you're dying to read them. Please use all of these resources before you go and buy them yourselves, unless you know you're gonna love it. If you know you're gonna love these books, just as I did, then yeah, go ahead and buy them because they were 4-star reads for me and I had the best time reading them. But now that we are at the end of this vlog, I just wanted to thank everyone if you made it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed yourself, give the video a like. If you enjoy my reading vlogs and you want to continue watching them, consider subscribing, ringing the bell, because then you'll be one of the first people notified when another one comes up. And if you have any suggestions about what type of mystery vlogs you want me to do next, please leave a comment, let me know, and give me some reading suggestions when it comes to titles, genres, all of it. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a great day. Bye!